Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, folks, depending on whatever time frame or locations you guys are based in. I'm based in London, so good afternoon from myself. This is Naeem Aslam, Chief Market Analyst at AvaTrade. I come with a wealth of 15 years of trading experience. During this time period, I worked as a hedge fund trader for Bank of New York Mellon and as an equity trader with Bank of America. Now, if you guys can hear me well, if you can see my screen, please do give me a check by saying yes, if everything is great, i.e. the sound and screen. And there you go, a lot of familiar names already here. Hello, Mutha, Andreas, Shane. Really good to see from you guys. And Shane is saying that the sound is a bit choppy. Is the situation with everyone else, or is it just with Shane's internet? Is it? Oh, okay. I'm not sure why that is. I have great strength in terms of my signals. So if it gets any, I'm sure it will pick up. It'll be back in. But if there are any issues, then we can review it at a later stage. But nonetheless, it's always a pleasure to have you guys with us. As always, thank you for tuning in and attending our webinar. Remember, the recording of this webinar will be available later in the day on our YouTube channel. A bit of a risk warning in front of you guys. If you have any further questions in relation to it, feel free to come back to your own relationship managers or to our customer support. Now, the contact details are right in front of you. The Twitter details are there. And remember, the YouTube channel for AvaTrade, the handle is AvaTrade, and over there we post videos on a daily basis. Now, something that I wanted to go through very briefly is AvaTrade's unique technology, and that is AvaProtect, which is a revolutionary one-click risk management tool available on the AvaTrade website and AvaTrade Go app. With AvaProtect, you can purchase protection against loss for a defined period after opening a position. If the protection ends and you have an open position that is losing, AvaTrade will reimburse the loss directly into your account. The only cost is, of course, the AvaProtect fee itself. Now, the agenda for today and some study questions. Now, for those of you like Amutha and Jane and a few other people that I see over here, Muller, like I see you guys being regular to our webinars for nearly a year now, if I'm not wrong, and I'm sure you guys find them very useful, and I'm so glad that you guys are so committed to continue your education, because there's no such thing where you say that I am an expert in this field and now I don't need to learn, because that would be very wrong. Markets change all the time from one day to another day, and you need to have that expert opinion, that expert support, which we provide, and there are plenty of ample other resources out there as well. Now, to begin with, for those of you who have attended the previous webinars, could you tell me what is Bitcoin, the pure definition of Bitcoin in a very easy layman term? You don't have to give me the most complex version from Satoshi's white paper, that what is really Bitcoin. Just give me, there you go. Shane has put it out there already, a digital currency. That's exactly what it is. Bitcoin is a digital currency, and it is sitting pretty much everyone is aware of what Bitcoin is now, and it is sitting in millions of wallets today, and people are highly interested in this particular asset class because of the opportunity, not the volatility, I would say the opportunity that it presents. Now, the one question which always is very important to ask is that, is this really a safe haven? Can we classify that as a safe haven? Well, the answer to that question is that yes, Bitcoin is a safe haven, and it is considered as a safe haven. It has acted as a safe haven during the time of complexities. Even if we look at the amount of money which has been pumped into the system during this COVID period or during the previous financial crisis when governments continue to print their dollar with unlimited supply. Bitcoin prices increased, surged, massive momentum we have seen during this period. Now, Bitcoin retested that 50,000 price level very recently because investors, institutional investors, if I must add, they have started to really add the Bitcoin as an asset class in their portfolio because they see a massive opportunity which retail traders saw it well before them and they got involved into that, and now they are actually late to the party in comparison to those retail traders who adopted Bitcoin, who started to trade Bitcoin back in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, or from 2009 onwards. So institutions are certainly late, but they do have massive war chest. They do have a big sum to deploy, and that is where the opportunity is, which we'll be discussing in a lot more detail later on. What is moving Bitcoin prices? That is another important study question, which we have discussed previously. So there are two things, like any other derivative, or commodity, shall we say, or even currencies. So most of the time, it is about the two factors. Number one is your supply, and number two, on the other side, you have demand. Now, in terms of a Bitcoin supply, can anyone please tell me what is the limited supply, the total number of Bitcoins? This is a question that we ask pretty much every time when we hold this one, and I want to see who can answer first. There you go, Amita. Congratulations, hitting that 21 million number before anyone else. And then Zo also did it as well. How to get Zo? Excuse me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. You took the second position in mentioning that 21 million mark up. And so yes, the supply is very much limited when it comes to Bitcoin. Unlike dollar, where there is unlimited supply, you can turn on the machine and then you can continue to print dollar, sterling, euro, Japanese yen, Swiss franc to an unlimited supply. But with Bitcoin, there is only limited supply, and that number is 21 million. And we are not too far from reaching that number. That is the most important thing. The supply is certainly limited, and the remaining supply is going down every day with more Bitcoins being mined. In terms of demand, what is happening over here is it's increasing rapidly with every day passing, because institutions, family offices, portfolio managers, pension funds, retail traders, investors, business entrepreneurs, they are very much getting involved in the Bitcoin price, in the digital currencies. Entrepreneurs see the value of digital currency, not only Bitcoin, but other assets as well, which we will discuss later on. People like Elon Musk, so the massive, massive potential in this particular asset. Now we have a BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, an asset manager which advises Washington in relation to their strategies of selling treasuries, have also invested in Bitcoin mining firms, because right now they can't directly invest into Bitcoin, but they can certainly invest in Bitcoin mining firms, and they've invested. So that tells us the future of Bitcoin, where it is moving, how far it can really go. This is why this demand equation over here is extremely, extremely, extremely strong, while supply is going down. Hence, the price curve we will discuss is going to have a massive influence on the back of that. Now, of course, we have covered that demand aspect to it. Are you guys with me in relation to that? Do you have any questions? Okay, so a question is, there's a question: how do you use Bitcoin aside from buying and having it. I'm not sure what you mean by that particular question. I mean, Bitcoin is a store of value. It's like buying gold, and it will continue to increase. That is the belief in the market. Bitcoin, you can use it to buy assets just like you use your currency at large number of places. Now, especially PayPal is facilitating that transactions as well. So, you know, if you wanted to buy a car, and then wherever they accept PayPal, and you have your Bitcoin wallet connected with the PayPal, so you could do that. So there are so many different ways of, you know, just like using that money. Wherever you can use PayPal, you can use Bitcoin pretty much. So that's that aspect to that. Now, let's move on to the main aspect, because today we want to discuss a bit more detail, not only Bitcoin, but also other assets as well, other coins as well, such as Dogecoin, because that is where, my friends, the biggest opportunity as of today really is, and of course in Bitcoin as well, because Bitcoin prices have touched their 50-day simple moving average once again. This is a very, very important price point from the price perspective as well. Now, let's begin the conversation by looking at the daily time frame first of all. So this is your 50-day simple moving average. Followed by that, you have your 100-day simple moving average, and finally your 200-day simple moving average. The most bullish signal that we do see so far when it comes to really Bitcoin really comes from the fact is that the 50-day simple moving average over here has crossed above the 100-day simple moving average. This is your first bullish signal when it comes to the price. This shows us that the prices are more likely to move to the upside. We have more momentum coming, because the last time we saw something close enough to this particular price action, we have to go back quite far. Let me just do that. The last time that the price did cross like this it happened back in November, you know, when we saw the like sort of let's see, because over here that crossover happened back in May when the 50 crossed above the 200 simple moving average, and we saw this massive rally, and that is what is happening right over here. So let me just put those two things over here together, so for you guys to really pinpoint it, for you guys to really see that. So the last time we saw the 50 crossing above the 100-day simple moving average, well, it really sort of happened in this particular area right over here. As you can see, 50 went above the 100-day simple moving average, and then we had the 50-day simple moving crossing above the 200 as well, because that is the next bullish signal that we are very much waiting for. The first bullish signal has happened. The next one is right going to happen over here when the 50 will cross above that, because then we will have this scenario over here where 50 will be trading above the 100 and 100 will be trading above the 200. This over here is a perfect bullish scenario. When this will happen, we are likely to see massive gains in terms of the price action, in terms of where the prices are really going to be moving from there onwards. That is what we are waiting for. But now the bullish signals have started to emerge in terms of the Bitcoin price, which is quite a good sign. Now, in relation to the price action on the daily time frame, what we really see is a price coming into this area of resistance, just right over here, where the price the last time, you know, saw this massive sort of a sell-off right over here. We see the price coming into the same area of resistance of 50 to 51,000, which, by the way, we mentioned several times in our daily video analysis on the YouTube channel. Now the price has retraced from it. There's a possibility that we may see the price coming near its 50 days, 200 days simple moving average, or the price may actually just form a bottom right around over here, 47,000, and then it comes back in, push through deep into this particular territory, and then from there onwards we go right towards the next particular price action, which is going to be 60,000 price level in around that. So this could happen over the weekend if the price comes and then breaks this particular price level, because so far the price is finding a little bit resistance over here. Any questions so far what we've discussed? Do you guys understand, first of all, the concept that we've described right over here? Does that make sense to you guys? Are you guys with me on this one? Any questions on that? Because there's no such thing called, right question or wrong question, because, as a student, if you have a question, the best thing that you can do to yourself is you ask that question, you pop that question straight out. And once you've done that, then I can help you guys to understand if you are not sure about it. Okay, so people are saying that they are very clear about that particular one, so that's great. Now, let me ask you the second question. Do you understand the opportunity which we mentioned earlier, that now the biggest bull signal is going to be coming when the price, the 50-day, which is right over here, will cross above the 200 simple moving average? Because why? That will generate a bullish signal. At the time, what we'll be looking at is a setup where 50 is trading above the 100 and 100 is trading above the 200 simple moving average. We wanted to see something similar to this one over here for that rally to happen. So we don't have that full bullish signal yet, but the price is really touching and then going above that one. And then after that, of course, we still have to wait for the 100-day simple moving average to cross above the 200-day simple moving average as well. So we still have bit of a time left, and that could happen in the next few months, maybe in October or so, when if the bullish pattern will really happen, then we could really see the momentum happening. Hi, is there a potential entrance? Okay, that's an excellent question. Is there a potential entry point? Yes, the potential entry point with respect to Bitcoin price is really going to be somewhere near that 200 simple moving average. So if the price comes over here, you can do that over here. You can put your stop losses just below the 100 to 200 simple moving average, or otherwise you can wait for the price to come back into this area over here between 42 to 44,000 sort of a price level, and then put your stop losses just below that, and then wait for the price to move to the upside. So there are two different opportunities that we have in relation to Bitcoin price. Number one is that you can wait for the price to come near close its 200 simple moving average, or buy it now, possibly placing the stop loss below the 200 simple moving average. Or the other opportunity really is wait for the price to come into this area of support, and then place your stop losses just below this particular price level, and then wait for then the boom can happen. If not that, then wait for the price to come in around this particular area right over here. All of that could again be very, very good opportunity in terms of the price action. In an ideal world, we don't want the price to come back into over here, or at least break below that, because that would mean that we are having another lower low. Well, so far we have a low, we have a higher low, we have a higher low, we have a higher low. Now we want to see another higher low forming, or at least a retest of the same one, not breaking below that. A break below that would indicate to us that the prices are actually the prices are struggling, which is not so much of a good sign in relation to the price action. Does that answer your question, Maximiliano? Right. Okay. Now we're going to move to the next one. And the next one is going to be Ethereum. So we're going to see what the price action is really doing in relation to Ethereum, and then of course we will move on to Bitcoin, Dogecoin as well, where the big opportunity really is. Now, when we look at the Ethereum's price chart on the daily time frame again, we see that the bullish pattern that we are looking for in terms of a Bitcoin is already there. There you go. That bullish pattern already formed over here a few days back when the 50 crossed above the 100-day simple moving average, right? And the last time again we had something similar to this one was over here. And after that, we saw this massive momentum in the price action where the price continued its journey to the all-time high of that 4,300. Now we are seeing that particular sort of a momentum forming over here. The price is in this resistance area right over here. It came into this resistance area, as you can see. Now it is hesitating to break above that. This consolidation zone is very much in focus. Once the price breaks above this particular area, then the next potential price point is going to be right at the all-time high. So in terms of bullish signal, in terms of bullish price perspective, in terms of a bigger opportunity, that is here in comparison to Bitcoin is in Ethereum. Ethereum certainly has that big momentum, the big great setup already formed, which means we could potentially see a rally really initiating over here. All what we are waiting for now for the price is to really sort of a break out of this consolidation zone. So to the upside, obviously, but if the price breaks to the downside, then the potential in terms of a support area, in terms of the entry area, is very much going to be coming in around that 2,400 to 2,500 sort of a price level. If price breaks and it comes into over here, we certainly wanted to see a double bottom forming over here, because the first bottom being over here, the second potential bottom if the price comes and breaks over here, and then boom, we could see the price moving back to the upside. So that is what I am looking for in terms of price action. If you are entering somewhere around here, I would put my stop loss below the 200-day simple moving average or below that 2,300 stop level, just to give us a good cushion in terms of that stop. So then our risk really is going to be from here to all the way to here. So this would be our risk. And in terms of our reward, we are very much looking at right at the top of this one, the all-time high, or even, I can't draw even the straight lines really with this particular mouse, or even much higher. So we have more than 4 to 1 risk to reward. This is our risk, this is our reward in relation to that. So we do have those, massive potential really in terms of a price level. So again, with respect to Bitcoin, the breakout trade can be taken when the price breaks above that 3,350 sort of a price level, or wait for the price to come out of this consolidation zone, let it come into this area where we've just mentioned earlier. Into here could be a great entry in terms of Ethereum's price action. The RSI is certainly telling us that the momentum is slowing down. It is moving to the downside. But if we see this RSI popping back, starting to go back to the upside, that would be very, very positive, because right now we have a negative divergence, meaning the price is moving sideways and the RSI is moving to the downside, indicating to us that perhaps more weakness is coming in terms of a price action. Does that make sense to you guys? Any questions? Now is the time for you guys to ask me that question. So once again, to summarize, Ethereum's price action is looking extremely bullish. Tell me why it is looking bullish. Could you give me the reason why it is looking bullish? What is the reason that the Ethereum's price action is looking bullish? Is it because the 50-day simple moving average is trading above the 100? and the 100 is trading above the 200. Is the reason? Do you see the bullish signals coming because of over here? Exactly. Thank you, Shane and Amutha. Absolutely. So that is exactly what we discussed, that this particular signal over here is very, very bullish in terms of an entry, in terms of your potential. And this is the consolidation area once again that we are focused on. The RSI is showing that the weakness could be coming because the RSI is certainly moving to the downside. So that means that potential entry could be in around that area. However, the price is bullish, so this breakout is likely to happen. And if it happens, where are we going to go? Are we going to go over here then? If the breakout happens, the next resistance, is it over here? Is the major resistance that we are looking at? Sorry, that was a very terrible drawing. That was a very, very terrible drawing. Yes, exactly. So that is the next target area that we are looking at. If the price breaks out of here, we are looking over here as our next target area. Okay, just keep that in mind. The all-time high is very much we are focused on. Now, for the last 5 minutes, we're going to focus on the big opportunity which is presented to us by Dogecoin. And for that, I'm going to go into smaller term time frame. I'm going to go and for intraday traders, for day traders, I'm going to represent that opportunity really. So the first thing when we look at Dogecoin on the 4-hour time frame, because that is a time frame that we look from a intraday time frame perspective, is right over here. So it comes from the RSI. The RSI is very close to 30, which represents oversold. The last time RSI was in around this particular territory was back in August, when the prices were trading in around that 19-cent price level, as you can see it over here. And what happened afterwards, we saw this massive rally. We saw the prices literally nearly doubled from that particular price level. The exact level would be 40. What happens if RSI is oversold and overbought? Great question. So if RSI is oversold, this means that this can happen, because the last time RSI was oversold, we see the price moving to the upside massively. Now, again, for the first time, we're seeing the RSI oversold, meaning the price is very much likely to move to the upside. Now, from traders' perspective, from trading perspective, the opportunities are as follows. Number one, potentially you could buy it anywhere in between this particular zone, so that 27 to 29, right? If you wanted to play it safe, you wanted to wait for the price to break above the 100-day simple moving average. So don't do it yet. Wait for the price to come back up, and then when it breaks above the 100-day simple moving average, put your stop loss at the previous low, which is currently, it is right over here. Then your risk under that scenario becomes this much. This is your risk over here. Your reward becomes from here to here. This becomes your reward, right? So again, we have more than 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. RSI is telling us that things are way oversold, meaning a potential bounce back, a potential momentum could be coming. At the same time, I also want you guys to be aware of is that another important price level, if the price breaks the current price level, so let's say if it breaks this one, another important support zone is going to be coming into this area of support, just around over here, 24 to 25. Yeah, so this is our second support zone. So if this one fails, if number one doesn't work out, then number two is where we are looking for the next potential entry. Then your risk becomes this much, and your reward still remains here, because this is your target area that we are very much still be focusing on. So I hope all of this kind of helped you. We have presented several different opportunities in this particular webinar. We talked about the potential of overall scope for cryptocurrencies from the demand and supply perspective. We discussed the price action for Bitcoin. Then we drilled into the price action for Ethereum and saw some few opportunities for Dogecoin, which are really represented by the price to us as of today. So I wish you guys good luck, and will see you guys next time, same place, same time. Thank you.